Hi everybody, y'all know me by now. I'm Kiria Rachel. I'm so excited to be teaching your kids again. This is the second time for basically everybody that I've had your kids, so I'm excited to be working with them again, and it's cool to see how they've grown and how they're going to grow this year in the threes class. This is my first year in the threes class in a while. I assistant taught with Kiria Lisa probably about 4 or 5 years ago in the threes class, so I am sort of following what she had set up, and I am making my own curriculum as I go and figuring things out to see what the kids are really into and what works well. So in this video, just be super simple. I'm going to show you the room, show you all of our social distancing, how we've implemented social distancing, and show you the room, show you the cubbies, the toys, and just some examples of things we do during the day. So here's our bulletin board for the month. This year I am focusing on my bulletin boards on the book of the month, or just a favorite book with the theme that I chose for that month. And this month it is the book Penguins Love Their ABCs, since we are starting to learn how to write our letters. And at the end of the book, the penguins find all the alphabet letters and make alphabet soup for dinner. So we did an alphabet soup project with the kids, and then I just put all of the letters of the alphabet out here and just trying to make it fun for the kids that are here to see it on their bulletin board. So every month I like to do a thematic decoration on my door. Since I am Snoopy Charlie Brown themed this year, I will always keep Snoopy up there with my Welcome to the Threes Room sign. And since it's October, we did pumpkins, and of course Welcome Great Pumpkin, because that's Charlie Brown. And we have that book upstairs in the church library, which is great. We do use the church library often, actually. They have some good books, good videos, DVDs, all that good stuff. This is our family tree. Not so much a tree, it's Snoopy's house. But this is where I'm putting all the pictures of our families. This is required under Excel, which is what the school is underneath. And it's just a spot for everybody's families to be up here. The kids love coming over and looking at their own pictures, looking at their friends' pictures. And it's just a really cool thing to have everybody's picture up there. So if you haven't brought your picture in yet, your family picture, please do, so we can fill up our Snoopy house. Last month we talked about good manners, and this was our good manners rap that I made up, and we just did it every morning at circle time, and the kids caught on and they loved it so much I decided instead of just putting it away, I'll put it on my desk since it's magnets, and they come over here and look at the manners, and they actually say manners throughout the day. They remember it, so I thought that was pretty cool. So as I mentioned in my last email, we do a job chart now. There are 5 jobs. I make sure every kid gets a job, so some jobs can have 2 friends, some jobs only get 1, like the weatherman. We do this every morning. When the kids come in, I get them one-on-one. I say, which job do you want? And they choose, and that's the job they get for the day. Now, admittedly, I just made this job chart yesterday. It's not perfect or how I want it to look, but for right now, it's basic enough and it'll work. Here's our whiteboard that is mainly used for circle time. We do all these things during circle time. Every day we start off with who is here, and I call out the child's name. They get to put their name up on the board. Then we do the calendar. I don't do the calendar every day, and that is because I took a class once that's called Redesigning Your Circle Time and learned that the calendar, kids don't understand the concept of days of the week, months of the year, today, yesterday, tomorrow, until they're in 3rd grade. So there's no point trying to teach them that now, because even if they seem like they understand it, they don't really comprehend. So we use the calendar just to count what day it is. I also have our shape and color of the month up there. We try to do more critical thinking activities with it instead of just asking, what's this color and what's this shape? I have little shape rhymes for each shape because I thought that was cute, and it says something about each shape. The apple up there is a gross motor activity because during circle time it's always important to get the kids up and moving. I also learned in that class that for every 2 hours that an adult can sit, a child can sit only 15 minutes. So they need to get up and moving. My circle time is usually 15 to 20 minutes, so I try and get them up and moving at some point during that time. And then we have our weather. We do have a weatherman as one of our jobs. So that friend would go to the window and look outside and tell us what the weather is, and then we would discuss what kind of clothes we wear for the weather and dress up our boy right there for whatever the weather is out
that day. So just to take you on a little tour of our classroom, my desk is here in the corner, and on the big carpet during free play we put lots of thematic toys out, and this month we are learning about the farm, and we're also learning transportation, which is why the car garage is out. The kids love the cars. I think I'm going to keep that out the whole year because they just, every day I ask, what are we going to play with? Cars. So I just keep that out. Jumping to our little TV we have in here, I have HDMI cord that hooks up to my laptop. So sometimes I do little music videos or dancing videos or just educational videos for the kids to use during my lessons. And my little boombox for music. This is where I store a lot of our toys, and in the cabinet I try to not put out too many because the kids do like to get out whatever they see. And I have a bin here of books that we do use, but it's very quarantine style like the library does it. I keep books out for about a week and then they sit somewhere for another week and then they go back on the shelf and I rotate through. They're also all hardcover books, so I can spray at least the outside. This is our kitchen. Kitchen is very important for dramatic play and also for learning, honestly, how to cook. You know, nothing too intense, but just the idea of food goes in the microwave and the oven and cold food goes in the fridge and all that stuff. And also at this age, kids are moving on from parallel play to associative play, which is working together towards a common goal. So the kitchen is a great resource for promoting associative play. Back here I have my puzzle/manipulative table. Right now we have some farm puzzles and some transportation puzzles. The kids love puzzles, especially that farm puzzle. This one, they fight over it and we have to take turns because they all love doing it. And as you can see, all the tables are socially distant. We fit 3 friends at each table typically. One table does have 4 friends because we have an even number of kids. However, on any given day, there are only 3 kids sitting at that table at the most. I did some crazy math, logic, puzzle stuff to make sure that each table would only have 3 and each table would have at least 2 friends at it for any given day. Here are our cots. Everyone has a cot. They're labeled. They're not touching, as you can see. I lay them down around at nap time. We have a ton of space for nap and we spread the kids out a lot. And certain kids have to be in certain spots because they don't sleep or they don't like to lay down. They have to be closer to the teacher, and it's not a punishment. It is just me trying to control nap time and keep it quiet for friends that do sleep. We do watch a movie at nap time. They lay down from 1:30 to 3, and I try to put a Disney movie on because that's usually an hour and a half, perfect timing for them. Over here we have our little diapering area because some friends are still in diapers or pull-ups and potty training, which is totally okay, especially because now we're short-staffed. We don't really have the time or the staff to make sure that we can run to the bathroom whenever a child needs to go. This area is specifically for diapering. Everything is labeled, put apart. I have these mats back here that I use. I lay them down, put the paper on there, and then change the child and then spray down the mat and use the next one. No toys are ever here, no lessons are ever here. This is strictly diapering area. And over here is our writing center. More so just manipulatives and toys that deal with language, more so than writing, because we're not quite at that point yet. We have letter magnets, which they love, and then these are little letter elephants, as you can see, that you can hook together and just doing alphabet. I have ABC toy over there, puzzles, all that good stuff. And also every child does have their own pencil box that I keep out the whole day. Here's some examples of like our thematic toys, thematic resources that we use throughout the month. Here we have a puppet of a firefighter and firefighter, policeman, and farmer, who are all community helpers who are part of this month's themes. We do things like this, little books I know I've sent home that go in sequential order. Then we teach the children about 911. We stress that they learn this number, and we work to repeat it all the time so they get it down, because I'm sure you've heard plenty of stories of kids who have called 911 and saved somebody, so we want to start that early. Sometimes we make some little pull along activities. I'm bad at describing this, but this is one of those activities where you take a paper bag, stuff it full of paper, tissue, something, and then it makes a little fire truck in this case, and they can pull it around. And here's a nice little maze that we do. The kids are not quite at the maze level yet, but they do try. Now looking at math. Math at this age is super simple. Shapes, colors, numbers. Our shapes, I love to do a collage whenever we learn a new shape because it just reinforces the idea of what that shape looks like. Our color, we try to find thematic things to make that certain color. So since this month is yellow and firefighters wear boots, we can make a yellow firefighter boot. And then for our numbers, I do lots of number papers, but this paper especially, I made up for number 1 just as an activity, and there's a song that goes along with it. It's called Who Stole the Cookie from the Cookie Jar. I don't know how many of you know that song, but I sang it once. The kids loved it. We did it like 5 times. So now I've just decided that each time we learn a new number, we're going to sing Who Stole the Cookie in the Cookie Jar, and then count how many cookies are in that cookie jar. So here's the main thing that I really wanted to show you. It's called Handwriting Without Tears. Now it's changed over the years. It's now called My First School Book. However, we started the preschool calling it Handwriting Without Tears, so we just keep it going. I just borrowed Riker's stuff for today because his was available to use. So each child gets a book. It's a decent size, and you see they all have their name on it. It goes in their cubby. It's just theirs. And looking through it, for example, we just did the letter L, which you can see here. And then this week coming up, we are starting on the letter F. And each page has an example of how to make it and another example where they can trace. And then here they put a smiley face at the top of the letter, because obviously we do teach, we draw from top to bottom. And some children still don't understand the concept. So if you then say start at the smiley face, it's at the top, then they can connect the idea in their head. Okay, I start up here and I go down and then I go across. So these pages specifically in this book, I do in the morning time during drop off. I don't start circle time around until 9:30. So from 8:30 until then, I have a whole hour to go through each kid and have them come and practice their letters and write one-on-one individually. So I can make sure that they get the help they need instead of trying to help 10 kids at once, for example. Now we will do on the carpet practice writing those letters. Each child has a whiteboard. One side is blank, one side has lines. I like to use the blank side, especially learning those early letters, because then they can use as much space as they want. So for example, doing letter F, I will demonstrate on the board. They each have their own whiteboard marker and eraser, and they can draw their letter F as many times as they want, and it just helps them start to get the feel of it. Now, once we draw our letter, I will then do another activity right after drawing it. So this is just an example of something we do for this month, since we're learning about firefighters, and letter F. It says F is for firefighter. So already you can see I have the big line down, glued down, and then these arrows to help them understand which way the little lines go. So then they would just glue the little lines on here, and then we'd put some paint here and make it a cool little picture. Now another good resource that we have for the children are these. They're big lines, big curves, and little curves. These are the 4 integral parts of making any letter. You can make any letter with these. Obviously you might need more of each, but you can make any letter with them. So for example, for F, I would give the children 1 big line and 2 little lines, and they would put it on the carpet and actually make the letter F with the lines better than I just did. But that's another way to get them to understand how to make the letter, as well as drawing it, but this is a little easier visually, especially for children who are having a hard time holding the pencil right, which we actually don't promote too much in this class. I try to teach them how to hold it. Some children like to hold it like this still, so I discourage that. I say, well, let's flip it over and hold it like this. So that's the start, when they hold it like this. Some children actually hold it the right way, which I'm impressed with. And I don't know if you guys taught them that, but kudos to you if you did and your child is holding it that way. We don't focus so much on the grip of the pencil until they get to pre-K and even kindergarten. So I'm just encouraging them holding it in this direction instead of like this, how they